And we did it. Did we do it? Fucking hearts in the chat if this is working.
Yeah, F's in the chat if
That's
it's
funny.
not working.
F's and hearts are the same thing.
Are they?
Why not? Maybe? I don't know. If somebody's out there, anybody.
Do I need to go check this in my browser?
It's working.
It is? You can hear me?
Okay.
Everyone can hear me.
I heard it. Okay, here we go.
Fucking did it. Let's go.
Hello, Attactioneers. Welcome to the Attack Action Podcast, America's Attack Action Flesh and Blood best podcast ever. I'm your host, Taylor Morrow.
Is that what you guys have been doing while I've been gone?
You haven't been
I'm
listening?
Yeah, no, I did. I listened to the last one, and you said you
Christ.
forgot my name. My name's Isaac, and I'm another co-host. And it's great to see you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, good evening, everyone. It's great to be back.
And I'm also here. Sorry, I got distracted because Greg said there was two of me, and I realized there was two of me. Hopefully now there's just one of me.
More the merrier.
We would all be so lucky if I had a second of myself. But as always, I'm joined by Birdie, who's taking a nap down here. And welcome, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of the year, 2023. What a weird year it was. Just generally.
I feel like they've just been weird. I just feel like this is how it is now. You know?
Yeah.
It's just gonna be weird years.
Yeah, it's weird. Shit. What was I gonna say? Never mind. Come back to me. I've had one sip of a banana beer and I'm off the rails already.
Yeah, well, cheers to everyone who's joining us.
Cheers.
Here's to you guys.
Colin, what are you drinking?
I made the fastest Manhattan, so I don't know how good or strong it is. I think it's probably too strong, but we'll find out.
Fastest Manhattan on the West Coast.
Ooh, it's pretty good.
That's funny. Cool. Well, chat, feel free to interact and be a part of the live cast as much as you want. If you're like, fuck, I wanted to send them eggplant emojis, I can't do that. Well, that's because you got to subscribe for at least 1 minute. So
get in
we're
there.
At 698 right now, and we want to be at 699.
If
by
we
the end
hit,
of the show,
if we hit 700, I'm gonna smack my belly on video. So Taylor knows about this move. I'm sure Isaac does too.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, so give us those eggplant emojis, everyone.
And two more subs. Come on, it's not that many.
I know. The bar is really low. By 2024, we want to hit 700. We need 2 subs.
It's going to be great.
All about setting attainable goals.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Right.
You want to make sure you achieve the goals you set, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just make goals and then
702 by 2025, you know.
Greg,
we'll
I will tell you
to 690.
I will tell you whatever I want to do because you are now our employee. Okay? So
technically
employee
we're paid.
is a strong word.
I guess we are paying him,
Surf.
so that would be.
You're right. Surf is a better word. Surf.
No.
Partner.
Surf.
He's
Toiling the land.
Everyone's local fab dad, helper outer guy. And what a great guy to know. Shout out to Greg. Shout out to all of our subscribers and our Patreon supporters.
Yeah.
Only reason to keep doing this is because you guys seem to like it. No, that's one of a handful of good reasons to keep doing it. But you guys make it feel really nice in here. It's cozy, you know.
Totally is. I'm gonna do a quick plug, and then I want to know what's going in your guys' live. So, if for some reason you're at our live podcast and don't know who the hell we are, we're a podcast, and if you enjoy this wackadoo of a end of the year live podcast, think about supporting us on Patreon. As little as $4 a month, which is like basically one drip coffee nowadays, depending on where you live. Drip coffee, not even a latte. And that's just once a month. $4 gets you access to our Discord, which is an elite group of individuals that have made an extremely wonderful community. And you also get some of the goodies we have lying around, and if we make stuff. And then you also get invited to the Hype House happening in April 2024. What's the Hype House? Well, we're going to get fucking hyped in a house, and we're just going to hang out, have a great time.
There's this cool new
Enough said.
drug on the street called hype, and we're getting hyped together. And
Yeah.
it's cool.
We're going to do
because our
cuddle
bodies-
parties,
It's not even out
Massage.
yet. We're cooking it up.
yeah.
massage circle,
We've been testing at home.
It'll be
and we're going to put all of our keys in a bowl and then take a random one and then go home with somebody. That's the Hype House. Just kidding. Some or none of those things will happen.
0 to some of those things will happen.
I don't want to go anymore.
We will be hanging out. We will be drafting sets. We will be playing Flesh and Blood. We'll probably be drinking. I'm definitely going to grill a lot of food. I got Millennium Blades board game TCG Simulator to play. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And we all know what icebergs do.
Colin is a grill master also, so don't miss out on that.
Definitely don't. Okay. Isaac, what's new in your life? Tell us. Also, wait, hold on. I want to know from chat and you guys, when Isaac is not on the podcast, are those non-canonical episodes? Like, do those exist in a parallel universe and only when Isaac's on, it's canonical and part of the main storyline? That's what I want to know.
Some weird, like, alternate Blake universe. You're on a planet over there and it doesn't count.
Yeah, like I could die, but I'm still going to be in the main story. You know what I mean? So you can just like do zany stuff, like have Blake on a podcast when he doesn't listen to podcasts. You know what I mean?
Really? I left and I came back, and then Blake's a podcaster. It's like the only one who doesn't listen to podcasts.
Dude, but he loves talking, so that's cool.
Oh, he just didn't want to listen. I get it. Nice. Got him.
He's not a pod. Some people aren't podcast people, and that's fine. It's not our demographic, but
Definitely not. Definitely not. Okay, cool.
Like, they're not listening anyway.
Yeah, fuck those non-podcast people. They don't listen.
They can't hear us.
Yeah.
Who are we gonna offend?
hopefully somebody.
That's why we had Blake on. Hey.
It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you guys in a while, and yeah, I want to hear what's new with you also.
But you first.
Sometime back in November or October, I hadn't taken a vacation all year, and I was like, I'm going to take a fucking vacation because I need it. And it was great. So I planned out like this 11-day trip. It was going to be awesome and adventurous and just like everything I needed. And then 4 days before I left, I got a call just to go to work a bunch instead, which was like actually a very good opportunity. And I got paid to like do training that like most people like pay to go to college to get. So I said yes, and it was a great opportunity, but I just went to work for like 3 weeks straight instead of, on my trip. So I still have yet to take a trip, but
the farthest thing from a vacation you possibly could have done.
So instead I just lived at work essentially. But that's why I missed a couple episodes and have been gone and, distracted. And I did watch Worlds, and I have been, like trying to keep up to date. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I while I was living at a training facility, I was able to like go to Tahoe on the weekends to like clear my mind and go on hikes, like not work and study and all that 24/7. So that was pretty nice. And that's kind of it, really. I'm working in Crescent City for 3 months this winter. Nobody knows where that is, but Taylor knows where that is.
Yeah,
And
so Isaac currently lives like the same amount of time south of me, and now he's going to be working the same amount of time north of me,
mhm.
if that makes sense. So Isaac and me don't live in the same place, but then yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah.
California's
Uh,
big.
yeah.
Yeah, like we're still in California and we're not in the Bay Area.
Like 4 hours above it, and then Isaac's going another hour past that.
Another 3 hours past that.
Oh God, 3?
So 7 hours north of the Bay, it's still in California.
Yeah. Beautiful Crescent City in Del Norte County.
Shout out
Home
to
to
all
Del
our
Norte High School.
Old Del
Shout out
Norte
to the
County.
Warriors. Del Norte Warriors.
Have you guys beaten the Del Norte team yet this year?
No, we don't have them scheduled. As the two farthest places in the county you can play from one another, we try to avoid those trips. But shout out to them for winning boys soccer section championship randomly.
Nice.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Good for them.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Colin? Sorry, I don't have anything very exciting. I was just like grinding and escaping.
Just succeeding in your
What,
career.
Thanks. That is true. That's true. It just doesn't feel like that when you're like grinding it out. You know what I mean?
Well, I hate to break it to you, Isaac. It just is that's how it always feels. It never
Oh,
feels like you're
Berg's-
doing much, and then all of a
Shit.
sudden you're like, I guess I've done
I did it.
well, and I've done what I tried to
Yeah.
do. But
Yeah, I can just rest easy now.
yeah,
I've done it.
yeah, until they just keep asking you to do more. What have I been doing? Man, I don't even know. I went to Hawaii for Thanksgiving. Shout out to Hawaii. Any listeners we
Ooh,
have
that's
out
nice.
there. It was great. Family trip. We went to be with Jess's family. I had dreams of going to the card game store there and playing Flesh and Blood because someone down here did that recently. I was like, oh, I could go do that. But I was like, I'm with family. I shouldn't like go like, hang out for 4 hours somewhere else by myself. So I didn't do that. But other than that, man, I've managed to put more stuff in my room that I have to hide when I turn my camera on. But
Yeah, you all should have seen the mad dash as he was like,
look, I took some stuff from my late grandmother's house just to have some of her stuff here, but I had nowhere to put it, so I just put it in my room, and that's what I got. Update on my card collection organization. Reorg 2023. It almost worked. I got almost everything in boxes. I undid my binders, so now I just have to sort my Majestics and kind of put some things away. And then I have to decide what the fuck I do with all the Majestics, because do I really want binders? I don't know. It sucks to have to go to multiple places for cards, but also it's fun to look at the binder, but I also just, the cards I want to look at and use are already in deck, so the binder's just half empty. So that's been going on. What else has been going on? I play a lot of Street Fighter now. I'm a fighting game guy. I'm ranked.
Love it.
I'm up in the
ranked.
I'm up
Number
in the
one?
Iron level. It's pretty
Nice.
good.
Iron is the best metal.
It's
We all
one
know that.
above rookie, so I'm making it. I'm just gonna be bad at a bunch of competitive games and just see how that makes me feel forever. It's gonna make me feel great.
You seem pretty happy about it, so it sounds like a great endeavor.
The thing about fighting games is like you can play it by yourself. You can train and do a lot of fun things at just like getting better pretty easily, and you can actually like feel like you can see progress in that. Then you go online and these dudes just beat the shit out of you, and you're like, "How are you in Iron? Like you seem so good," and I'm just getting like hounded. But it's also like a 3-minute interaction, so like I get my ass kicked and I just go do something else rather than spending 45 minutes getting my ass kicked every Tuesday for 3 or 4 hours. But it is fun. I'm enjoying that. I treated myself to one of the new OLED Steam Decks because why not? It's my favorite console I've had many years. And I don't know. AGE's
Cool.
coming up. We're gonna do another year of that shit, man. Fucking
Hell yeah. Let's go.
things are kicking off. I got like 1 week off after Christmas, and then it's just gonna be like straight into a shitload of work and flesh and blood stuff. So, I'm gonna try to take as much time in this next 2 weeks to like recharge and
Hell
do
yeah.
some stuff around the house, enjoy myself, be with my family some of the time, but not too much of the time, because you know what? That's not as relaxing as being by myself.
Why it's totally reasonable for you to go do something yourself for 4 hours.
Well,
Totally. All that.
that was Jess's family. It's much easier to hang out with someone else's family than
yeah,
your
that's true.
own. I don't have 40 years of history to fucking, trigger me. I've got like 10 years, and it's like, no, everyone here is very nice to me. So, not that they're not nice to me at home. Anyways, that makes it sound bad. My family is also nice. It's just hard when it's, your parents and your siblings. And,
Absolutely. It's a relatable subject. It's fine.
It's fine. But
People
that's
are
why
relatable.
I'm excited for Hype House. I've been prepping for that. I got Millennium Blades, as I said before. Black Friday sale. One of the best parts of this games is that the money is stacks of bills, and I had to assemble that by hand with little stickers to put all the stack. Even the $1 is a stack of $1.
That's funny.
It's like the stupidest thing, but it's pretty great. So I'm excited to play that with y'all, and
Hell yeah.
we'll be gaming soon. Taylor, it's now time
Indeed.
for everyone's favorite hoops update. Championship after championship after championship. They can't be stopped. These kids are taller than me.
No.
I've seen them. They're as tall as you, and you're taller than me. So
Yeah, but I got many short kings on my team, so you'd be proud.
fuck
Yeah, I feel like every time I open the Discord these days, you've won another championship. It's
That's
like a lot
true.
of championships.
Yep.
Or
we're doing good.
tournaments, they're not.
Have they
all-
like
Tournaments.
repurposed the word championship? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, first I'm
Everyone
going
gets
to interact with the chat a little bit here. Shout out to my mom and her boyfriend, Bill. They're in the chat.
Hi, Colette.
What up?
Hey,
And then I'm also with Mike Popovich here. I'm also pro binder.
I
is
waffle
fine.
back and forth, man. It's hard. I think I'm gonna go binder. I'm just like,
I like it because it's easier to move them around. You know what I mean?
So
Like a big box. Like I've seen Isaac with his gigantic box all flippity floppity, and then it like flops and it just fell everywhere, and it was like a huge mess.
but
I
have too
think
many
that
cards
happened
for
one
binder.
time, but I like the boxes for organizing cards I use. I like binders for collections of stuff. Like my alpha collection of sorcery is in a binder because it looks great. But then, like Colin was saying, practically speaking, if you use a binder for your play set of cards, it's just like half empty all the time. And then when you go to like slot some cards back in, you have to like be like, okay, wait, does this go in this empty slot or 3 empty slots over? Or, I don't know. It just like, I like all the cards organized in a row in the box. and I put all the Majestics of that type just in the front rather than alphabetical, and that seems to work pretty well for me.
Nice. I just like it in set order because it makes it easier to figure out where stuff is. And I'd like to visually see it, rather than like through the boxes like that.
But then if you go to make a warrior deck, you got to go through your crew binder and your monarch binder. And anyway, you know me
That's
though, I
fine.
like deck build visually, so that would not work
Yeah.
for me.
I find it because I have to do it like that. I noticed cards I maybe wouldn't have considered because you have like your mental category. You're like, right, these are the staples, these are the staples. But then when you flip through, you're like, right, that's a card. Should I use that? No, I shouldn't. But at least you thought about it and remembered you had it.
Yeah, good point.
Oh boy, everybody's they're all up in arms.
This
Okay,
is-
hoops update.
Yeah.
It's like the
Okay,
biggest.
go ahead.
It's the biggest, like one of the biggest, like dividing factors in TCGs is how do you fucking
Just do
organize
what
all
works
of
for
them.
you.
Well, that's
You
the
know
thing.
what I mean?
You got to figure it out, and sometimes you're like, well, I bought all these binders and they were not cheap, so should I just keep using them? But I don't like doing that because they're empty and they're too big. Anyways,
I'll buy them from you, Colin. There you go.
I'll bring them to the hype house.
All right.
All right, let's go.
I got my South Fork basketball hoodie on in honor of my basketball team. Okay, so currently we're doing quite well. We've only lost, arcane games and events. Colin's got mushrooms playing instruments. There we
Mushroom Freds.
go. We're 9-2, and we won 2 preseason tournaments. One was a very old, prestigious tournament, the Redwood Classic in Boonville, California. So that was a pretty big deal to win that. Like they let you cut the net down and you get like a big plaque and shit. And I've never cut the net down and none of my children. So that was a funny process to see them. They're like, I just cut it down. What do I? It's like, have you never watched sports on TV? You cut a part of it and you get a little part and you stick it in your championship cap and then I get to cut the rest of the net down and then wear it and then we pop champagne. But we don't because they're high school students and I'm a responsible adult.
Yeah,
so
you pop it and then you drink it and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You guys did it. Drive me home. And then we just won. So we put on a tournament every year for our hometown hero, Gene Cotter. So we won the Gene Cotter Memorial Classic. Second year in a row for us. And we had to beat a very tough team from Fremont to win it. And so that felt really good to win that again. And we had a good tournament, and it's very stressful being the person putting on the tournament. I mean, most of my job is the same, where if nobody talks to you about it going poorly, then it's going really well. But somebody always goes like, well, why is it this way? Or why isn't it this way? Or why did you do this? And it's like, because that's the decision I made as the one person trying to organize 16 teams and schedule this out between the referees and the teams and the locker rooms and blah, 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 So that is like so stressful, because people pay you money to put this on, you know what I mean? So, but it happened. It's all over. It was 4 12-hour days in a row, and now we're done. So, let's see what else with basketball. The rankings got updated, but they like missed one of my games, which I'm pretty annoyed about. So we're number 1 in our division for our section, currently ranked, and then we're ranked 4th in state for our division, which I'm like, I don't know. I think we should be a little higher, but there are two undefeated teams still. So we have two losses. But we do get to play one of those teams next week randomly. They're just ranked really high, and I didn't know they were going to be, in quotations, good. So I'm looking forward to beating them by like 20 points or something egregious like that. So it'll be awesome.
I feel like y'all do that a lot. Didn't you have one recently where it was like an obscene amount of points?
Yeah, we beat a team by 70, and we weren't trying. I mean, we were trying, but it was like,
you benched everybody. It's just one guy out there by himself being like, all right.
Yeah. They just let my best player left him open for the whole first quarter. So he hit 6 threes in the first quarter and had 22 points in the first. So
Jesus.
it's like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do with that if you're not going to make an adjustment? So yeah, I subbed down and we beat them by 70.
Try guarding him?
I think it's pretty clear when he just is shooting from everywhere and the ball's going in, So we had a good practice this morning, and then we're going to play a local team who's historically been pretty good and has beat the living shit out of us. So we're looking to get some redemption and hopefully get a win and defend the den, the Bear Cub den, defend it.
Get your forks out, right? Because is that a thing you guys do?
Forks?
South Fork, isn't that a thing?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Maybe we will implement that.
Put a South Fork in them. They're done. Right?
Nate has a real question. Are you beating St. Bernard's? Absolutely. Absolutely we are. I'm a little stressed out,
that's
though.
That's the only important thing.
Yeah, that's a huge... They're our home opener January 4th for league play.
Wait, you haven't even started league play yet? This is just...
Yeah.
Preseason?
This is all the... Yeah, there's basketball season is kind of in 3 parts. It's preseason, league, and then postseason playoffs. So, but yeah, Nate, of course we're going to beat them. They have to travel to the den, to the Bear Cub den, where we're going to stick forks in them.
Fork them up. Let's go.
Jesse says I dub Colin the Fork Night. That's pretty good.
I'll take
also,
it.
What's up, Jesse? Thanks for saying hi.
He's going to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, someone's got to stop you. You're like a menace up there. You need a slightly younger, taller coach to come in and show you up. And that'll be the start of your memoir movie biopic.
What was really surreal is we had I put us in a bigger, harder tournament where we got our 2 losses in wine country. And we were at a rich school, and they had a hospitality room and a tote bag for me full of stuff. And in it was 3 bottles of wine.
Nice.
But the other
no wonder you signed up for that tournament.
Yeah, totally. It was awesome. There was good wine too. 3 bottles of wine. I got a custom cutting board and coffee, cookies,
Jesus.
All kinds of stuff.
So you're going back next year, no matter what.
Yeah, I don't know. They were pretty terrible. They were student section came to every single one of our games and taunted us. So that was pretty wild. Not a great experience. But I normally am the youngest coach at every game, except for in Richtown, where they pay their coaches. So you can be a young guy who's yeah, this is my part-time job. And so I was not the youngest coach. One of the guys I coached graduated in 2017 and was taller.
You graduated,
but not more handsome. Yeah, he can barely drink the wine they gave him.
Is Richtown a real place, or you're just saying derogatorily they're rich, so it's Richtown?
It was a affluent area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the towns up there. It could be Richtown, California.
Oh, totally. There's one literally called Middletown up here.
And they're not rich, or they are rich.
I don't know really. I don't go over
Yeah.
there.
They're not poor.
Yeah,
They're
they're still
middle.
in wine
They're
country
middle
also.
class in
Yeah.
Middletown. We could live with that. Just making sure we're on theme. Well,
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about you, Taylor? How are you doing? You doing good?
Oh, yeah. Colin said in the Discord the other day, like, or I was mentioning how I coach and why we're good, and it's like, you just try as hard as you possibly can to the detriment of your health, and then once the basketball season's over, you like get really sick and die, and then you're reborn, a phoenix from your ashes of success, hopefully, and then you start it all over again in November. So,
and what did I say?
I'm fine. That I'm important too.
That's right.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm fine, I guess. All I am is basketball right now. It feels like that's all I am.
I mean, compared to last year, at least you have a voice this time. Last year, you sounded like you've been dragged through your town by a horse by your vocal cords, and now you sound like normal. So that's good.
Thanks.
You don't have to scream so much this time around.
I guess, or I'm just getting more in shape, or
You
something.
gotta practice your vocal exercises.
You do. You do.
I do it every day.
You do?
No.
Could you give us a preview of that, please?
It's a lot of like, ha, ha. Some of that,
That's
then
great.
you gotta do it in the shower too, because you get those good acoustics.
Nice. Hot tip.
Boom.
Speaking of tips,
Just hear Colin screaming in the shower.
Just always like,
Yeah,
are you okay? And I'm just like, yeah, yeah.
That's great. Should we talk Flesh and Blood now?
Let's do it.
Tell me about it. You got
Well,
flesh and you got blood.
I do. Let's just dive into spoilers, shall we? So we were
Someone
fucking blessed.
dumped a bunch today.
Yeah, just today, which is pretty awesome. So we got a bunch of these wager cards. I don't know what to call them. They're wage cards. Wage cards.
Wait, got my wage cards right here.
Wage cards that I may wager. Oh, maybe. Okay. So we got a bunch of wager cards.
Oh, they
Why
all
is that
came
weird
from
to
this
say?
video you were telling me about that we weren't invited to do. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. One of the big ones is Wage Gold, a generic attack action, and it has a new keyword, universal. While in any zone, this is the same class as your hero, and it's a 3/7 2-block, and it looks like it's a rare, which is crazy that it also comes in blue and yellow. So pretty sick.
Well, that's not always
Also,
true.
these-
But it seems likely.
Oh, that's true.
These like warrior and guardian cards block for 2, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's great. Also, I know I'm late to the party, but I just have to weigh in that Sonata Galaxia is like the coolest Runeblade art ever. I hate it because it's Runeblade, but it's beautiful. Very, very beautiful card. And the new Azalea specialization is dope. Like 300 stylized, Sin City art.
Mm-hmm.
Also love
Yeah.
that. All right, sorry, you can keep going now.
Well, okay.
I'm
Well,
just
then I'll
more excited about those than the new wager cards.
Oh, totally. Corrosive Tendency, right? The new Broken Assassin card. So sick. Not my favorite art. Weirdest specialization that features not the character, but some guy who's like a kind of Klingon facial hair going on. Anyway. Wager. It's a thing. And this is also drinking themed, which is pretty fun. Some of them. So we have wage, vigor, might, and agility, and you're just wagering whether or not you'll get those tokens. And they have fun flavor text, which is really awesome. I think those will be in their commons. So definitely, I would say all of the classes want these. They're all 3 for 7s. I think that's really cool design. And then we have fun uh, drinking non-attack actions where you just hit the smash back ale horn for 0 and you create agility and a might token and it has go again. Blocks for 2. Brute action.
Yeah,
Super
sign
sick.
me up for that game.
Yeah,
Also now go ahead.
I like
Go ahead.
this brute with purple and blue mohawk. Like, come on, that guy's good.
Yeah, that guy's dope. I am now
Fight
also
Master Cox.
I'm simping pretty hard here for Countess Camellia, this vampire lady. That's she's doing that for me,
I
you know.
mean,
So I will say, so all these cards do block for 2, right? So there is a downside in running them all. Like if you just slot them all in as a bunch of your attacks and blues or whatever,
not
you know,
if
it
you're
does make your
attacking
deck
for 7
weaker.
every turn, man.
Boom,
Just
bam,
saying.
bam.
There is a downside, but I do really, really like the wager mechanic. I think it's a good direction for the game to go because, I mean, so they've introduced a lot of different mechanics, but one of the things it like the game does sometimes is like you kind of like hope you're gonna rip your combo off the top before the other player or you know whatever, and a wager mechanic is like kind of going in the opposite direction where it incentivizes um, interaction with your opponent. And if they're very unadaptable or not like their deck just literally can't block, you're going to be able to play these really overpowered cards and get the bonus every time. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the universal keyword. I think that's really fun way of making it. It's like they're just like dabbling in like broken shit. They're like, it's anything. What could it
Yeah.
do? And now everyone's like, whoa, what interacts with cards of a of a class? Which I think Arachne Assassin is a great place to start. You get
Hell yeah.
hit, get go again, break your black text, fucking
Yeah, it's pretty
have
sick.
a good time.
Have a good time.
It's also a pummel target.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's just like another brute card that's really cool, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you play this on Blood Rush turns.
Yeah, which is really cool. You probably can do bullshit with warrior as well. All of the classes. You can put it in mechanologist and friggin' banish it. Good to go.
Dang.
Yeah.
What else can we do?
Mike Popovich is right. The 2 blocks will be really nice and sealed or in limited formats as well.
Yeah. I mean, with the more 2 blocks and the introduction of block cards that, can block up for up to 4, like it is pretty interesting to see them dabble with more cards that block for 2. You got to make a couple harder choices sometimes. It does feel like
It was.
There you go.
I was just gonna say it was a little weird, like back in the day, the old school design of the game was just like some of the classes, just all of their cards block for 3. And like that's fine if it's one of the class's strengths back then, but I feel like we can kind of move away from that, right? Like as you expand classes and they have different strategies and stuff, like not every single warrior card or mech card or whatever has to block for 3.
Some
Yeah,
people
totally.
might disagree,
I mean, it's pretty powerful creating both of those tokens. Shout out to Thomas in the chat also.
Yeah.
Thomas is in the house.
Getting 2 tokens that are both beneficial to you is pretty good.
Yeah, and they're blues, so that's really awesome, So yeah, I love those. We have talked about 0 spoilers, so I'm just going to move us right along here. The new Ravenous Rabble art is so sick, and this Runeblade lady who's been featured on many Runeblade cards. Who is that? Why isn't she a character? Who are you? Who are you? Are you related to the Countess? Bite me, mommy. You know?
That's
Uh,
that's what's her name? That's Megan Fox's character Jennifer's body in
oh,
cosplay.
perfect.
Megan Cox, is that her name? Sure, why not? It is a pretty cool card. Uh, Bummer that it is just for a special event that we're not invited to. Well, I guess if you live near
Yeah.
Queenstown and can go, that's pretty fun. I like that they're doing these like
Regional cards.
regional cards for different
Yeah.
events. I think that's really fun. Although it is sad that half the people at Worlds Calling just like left when they got their promos.
Yeah. I mean, they do that all the time. They did that in the Tales of Aria premiere too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. There's always going to be some of that. I think a premiere is like, I kind of
Yeah.
get it, but like just giving people a promo card that they can literally just flip like is like, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I think probably the majority of people stayed and played and hung out and stuff. Uh, Corrosive Tendency. I do want to talk about this card briefly and just give it big ups. The sickest card. It's so cool. It does so much for Assassin. Um, and it's just so cool because it's like black text on a stick, and black text already is like crazy good. Also, shout out to Brandon, my boy, sold me cold foil black tech whisperers now. So
Hey.
Ooh.
yeah, pretty
Ooh.
exciting. So that's really awesome. Yeah, it's just really cool. It's just really good. It's
So
blue,
is this
blocks
like
3.
you want to hurl or you want to play flick knives and like flick your knives a bunch and just re-equip stuff, or like is this like your backup? Oh no, it has to be in the graveyard. So yeah, you gotta like.
Oh, you're talking about Graven Call. I'm talking about Corrosive Tendency,
Oh shit.
the new specialization.
That card. I mean, that card is very good. It's also blue and blocks 3.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
awesome.
it's so cool.
It
And it's
looks
not a
like
hit
that
effect.
card. It looks like that. What's that nodes card? Cognition
Nodes.
Yeah, we got like a similar
Yeah.
thing going on here.
Yeah, a little bit. That's
It's
my
just
only
like-
gripe is that Arachne is not featured in his specialization card. You know?
Well,
I mean, what is that his hand right
got
there?
his hand in there.
Well, could be his an assistant's hand, you know?
his fucking
Fair
intern
enough.
is there. Just,
He
don't
has
worry,
unpaid
boss.
intern.
I'll. You want me to
Yeah.
attach these things to his head and stand here and watch him? Okay. I'll make sure he says yes eventually. Thanks,
exactly.
Diane. I'll make sure
This-
you get
yeah.
college credit for this.
So Corrosive just opens up so many cool play lines. Like, they can, you can like leave no witness, right? And then they like give you some armor or not even like you plunder the poor. They give you some armor and a card, right? And you go, cool, awesome. I'll play Corrosive. Look at your top 3 cards. Like, yep. Banish this one. Boom, it gets go again. And then now I'm going to play Already Dead. And if that was an important piece of equipment, you're going to get it banished, homie, if you let this Already Dead hit, because it's still the same combat chain. So, like, cool play lines like that are possible now,
Yeah, and I mean because it's not a hit effect, right? It's
Yeah,
like they block out your attack. You banish a card anyway, fulfill a contract, and give it go again, all without like requiring your hit shenanigans that you can just invest in the next one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's always the hardest part when you're Arachnes. You just get stuffed by a defense reaction, and you're just like, okay, cool. I popped some equipment, and I did it too soon, and they stuffed me, and I can't do anything. And now, you got a little sidestep.
Now I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
That's
That's the
stuffed.
best part. Yeah, is that you have a thing can't play around now, which is awesome. You know?
Which I'm gonna be annoyed by when you do that to me.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's Dashio, and you for some reason put an item on top, and they're like, "Oh, well, let me look," and then they play it, and you're like, "Fuck."
Really great. Cost them
I
a
don't think
resource.
they
So
can-
another card from hand.
I don't think they can interrupt the middle of your card resolving there anyway. So.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Oh yeah. The full thing would resolve. I would banish it before they got to do anything.
Yeah,
But I'd have
I
to
keep
watch out what
thinking
that
it's
second
still
card
a hit
is.
effect, but it just happens. Or like, let
It
me
just
look at
does
your
it.
card. It was like, you know what's fun about Arachne? Looking at cards. What if we can look
Yeah.
at 3 cards? And
Oh
then
my
just,
God,
like, get
so
rid of
powerful.
one? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, hello.
So good.
Get
Yeah, let me
fucked.
get my greasy paws on 3 of your cards.
Yeah, you get to do this 3 times.
Yeah. And it's just another card that banishes a card, which is
Yeah,
like what you want to do. You definitely have wanted to speed that little process up a little bit, and now you can, which is really great. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get 3 of those.
it's got
And
big
just
banish energy, you know.
big banish energy. So that's it. I said my piece on my new favorite card, which makes me really excited for heavy hitters.
All
like
right, let's get angry.
other spoilers happen. Who cares?
Luminaris Angels Glow. They were like, what if we do it again?
I don't.
It's that meme where you're like, you know, it's like, I did this thing, and it's like, I'm gonna fucking do it again.
Well, it's the first one of each type, and only angels, not auras in general. So it's like it's got a lid on it, right?
Yeah, but
That's what we said
Colin's
about
not
Luminaris,
convinced.
dude. That's what we said. You got to have yellow cards.
it's gonna be.
Well,
It's like now you can run library. Vegeta's Soul is good. You know, I mean, it
That's
does.
cool,
It definitely
though.
it's a different deck, and I think that is interesting because the Iris of Reality new Prism deck is very different, and like, you know, you're just swinging your auras for 4 with a lot of blues, which is a very different tactic. This just is like getting us into that old Prism territory, which, you know, I mean, because if you're swinging Heralds with Go again, and you run Footsteps again, which is fun, and then, yeah, I mean, it TBD on if it's as busted as it might be,
Yeah.
but it's just
I think it is cool because Prism's not seeing a lot of play, right? So
no.
might
Well,
help
that's
her out a
'cause
little bit.
Dromai just eats you alive, unbelievably, unbelievably. I've never lost a game like without dealing any damage / they have more health when they ended the game, other than new Prism versus Dromai. It's just bad. So still bad. Probably this doesn't fix any of that, but at least it's gives you a little bit more deck building options for this new hero.
So, Colin, as our resident Prism player, I'm just going to call you player, not simp or whatever. Does this get you excited to play that deck again? Because that's got to be like top 3 all-time favorite decks for you, right? Is Monarch Prism?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does because you're running yellows, so you're talking library. You're playing Herald, so you're talking Footsteps. Yeah, you know, yellow is again, or I guess is it just light cards with Vestige of Soul? But like, it's like that whole loadout was so fun and did so many busted things when you're just like, and now I pitch this, and I have, you know, 5 floating resources for some reason. I think all of that is really fun, and even the new. I mean, I was playing around with the new Prism stuff, and it is definitely really interesting. But that Dromai matchup is bad, you know. And I got Dromais at my store, so like it's just gonna be. It's not a matter of if. It's just when I get paired up with them, I'm gonna have a non-game, and then I wasted like at least an hour. But
I hate that matchups like that exist in the game.
yeah, I
I do
mean,
too.
especially if you're driving to a store or yeah, like
that's why armories have gotten hard, this year for me. Not to go too far on a tangent, but it was like, I wanted to play
That's fine.
Kano, and I, started the year playing Kano. I think I won an armory, and then, uh, everyone just decided to kill me too fast to do anything as Kano. And so I would just basically have some pretty brutal non games, and I just feel like there's more of them than I would really care to see in the whole game, and I'm not sure where we're at now, with like the latest LLs and everything like that, but it's it's unfortunate, and it's like if that's like the one night a week I get to play like a bunch of games, and one of those games is like basically non-existent, and then I get like a buy or something, I've literally wasted half my evening just like doing nothing fun.
Yeah, that does suck.
And that is rough. But it is what it is. That's why you try other heroes, you try to do things that fit what your meta is, and I think that is one of the challenging things of the game in general, is that you can't always play just what you want if you want to have have the opportunity to have more fun than if you just played the game, the hero that you want. But yeah. Nate asked if I'm playing Marvel Angels. No, because I'm not spending that much money on cards, so I didn't buy.
But would you?
I fucking would, man. If I could. Yeah, well, and now I'm just in that trade territory. I gotta like figure out how to trade my cards to get things I want. So
That's what I have done, and
if I
feels
get
better.
there, and the prices go down, because they were just crazy high for a while. It's like I'm not.
Yeah.
Luckily, you only need one of each, but it's still expansive. But currently now I'm toning down my bling and just focusing on playing. I'm not going to buy a single box of heavy hitters. Take that, LSS.
Me neither. Me neither.
There's zero value in your boxes other than playing.
Well, for
games.
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of where you want it. Well, I don't know. I don't want to go down that. That's not our channel. That's not what I want to talk about.
But the market says that if you go in, I don't know.
What? Going back to your non-game matchups or whatever, my wife was talking to her about the game or something like that, and somehow that came up, and she was like, "Wait, so there's like matchups you could just like basically can't win? That doesn't seem like that's a good design." And I was like, absolutely. It's like the biggest flaw in the game, in my opinion, that those still happen. And it just is like, it feels weird because it's it's either two things are wrong with that scenario. One, it's a conversation they didn't have, and you're like, well, you should have had that conversation. Two, it is a conversation they had, and they went, we're okay with that. You know what I mean?
I think it's the latter for sure.
Yeah, because this has existed for like a long time, right? Like Kano versus Prism has been around forever.
Yeah.
Or like, Azalea versus like Turtle Dash in the crew meta. It's like, or Chain versus anybody, but I don't, it's like they know it exists, but when they create the crew meta, right, they're like, fuck it, we'll address Azalea later. It's like everything else is fine. We're not going to slip in an extra tool for her to deal with Dash, or like an extra tool for Kano to deal with Prism, or you know what I mean? For some reason, they like, because it would only take like maybe like one or two cards, or like scour type cards or whatever, just like some tech tools to maybe make it so you stand a chance. I don't know, but they're like, whatever, it doesn't fit the current set, or we're not focusing on that right now, so we're just going to leave it for later. And I don't know. I think that the game in a lot of ways is built like for competitive play and for players to like own all the cards. You know what I mean? Or not, maybe not all the cards, but like many different decks.
Yeah.
I think, in in a number of ways, players that have a favorite deck or only play a couple of decks, suffer from that quite a bit, I think.
I'm just all Arachne all the time, and then you get paired into your bad matchup, and you just say, "Well, maybe I could do it." You just trick yourself into hoping, and then you try really hard, and then you can't, and then you're like, "Cool, well, I wasn't gonna win anyway, but I tried really hard," and you just gotta be okay with it.
Self-deceit is the
Yeah,
key
is the only
there.
way around it.
Yeah. I mean,
Delusional.
it's helpful if you're like playing against somebody you know and like, and you're just like, oh, okay, Actually, no, that's not even true. I played. I never mind. I'm not gonna go into it.
Well, I mean, I played Icelander into a Prism player who sat down and was like, I just started playing and I've never played this matchup. And I went, sick, maybe I will win. And he had no idea what my cards did or how they interacted, and he beat the living crap out of me. And I was like, this sucks.
That's me every week. I go and play like a brand new player, and I just lose, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Although one dude,
Not
we got
nothing. You're
there's-
beautiful, just
yeah,
the way you are.
Shout out to New Colin. He doesn't listen 100%, but there's a new Colin at my store. He is decade plus younger than I am. Has played the game
I'm
for
upset already.
several months, and is sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, I think you've got like a codex in your hand, and blah blah blah." I'm just like, "What, sir? Like, what did you?" Yeah, I do. I do have a codex in my hand. Jesus, like, it's like,
How did
I'm-
you know that?
I'm just like, it's just, yeah, it's fine.
Maybe your glasses are too reflective or something in the store lighting, and he can read your hand.
No, you know me. I put my cards down.
Hmm.
They're
Oh yeah,
on
and
the
then you do this.
table, and then I don't move.
Yeah, you stand extremely still.
That's right. There can only be one, Nate, and I will challenge him. And then Evan has the gall to call me Old Colin. Jesus Christ. Call me like
That's rude.
Chonigman at least. Like,
Yeah,
Master Colin.
yeah, totally. Emperor Colin.
so 2024, we should all just adopt like handles, right? And we'll just go by those. Like, that's what they do in fighting game community. Everyone's just like, my name is this. And you're just like, that's a cool fucking name. Like,
Yeah,
you don't need
That's
a
what,
real
like-
name.
that's what Uber does, right?
Your name could be Angry Bird. Well, that's because he comes from,
Yeah,
video
vid,
games.
vid games. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
call you Chonigan.
Wait, so
Hey,
in real
Zane
life,
in the
you
chat.
you just
What up?
use your what's up, Zane? You just use your like gamer tag as your real name?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
They
who's
built,
that really famous League of Legends guy? What's his name? Like
Like
Zeb or
Tweety Bird or something?
One or
there's a lot of birds
Zone.
in fighting games. There's Angry Bird. There's some other bird. It's great. I love it. Next year we'll make up new names.
sick.
I guess I'm the Fork Knight. So I've got my name already picked out for me. And everywhere I go, I have to bring my fork.
Totally, that's your fatality.
Yeah.
Stick a fork in him.
Damn.
That's fun. Okay, so get us back on track here. So Heavy Hitters is coming out. What are your guys' like hopes and dreams? Isaac, you have the most stake in the game here as a OG brute player. How do you feel?
Yeah, so if we're just going with hopes and dreams, not what I think will happen, I really hope that they introduce like maybe new mechanics for Brute, right? Because Brute used to be like kind of like a master of tempo, and you had like these different tools and you could combo your opponent and stuff, and it was great. And then they just really leaned into the RNG, more discard off the top, like to me real feels bad moments, because you're like, I'm like playing correctly and like playing to the odds and playing to my outs, and I just like got unlucky this one time, you know what I mean? So or like Lavaya has a mechanic where it's like really cool engine to manage. Love playing that hero, but it's like, like if you draw an unfortunate hand, you just die instead of where most heroes you just like block out or lose tempo. So I'm hoping for them to like bring Brute kind of back around and allow you to kind of play the game in a kind of tempo based game, or just like any direction away from the high RNG, like high stakes, lose the game on the spot aspect. I think that's pretty lame and like feels bad as a player like pretty often. So that's my
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my hope for heavy hitters.
Yeah, I'm with Isaac. I mean, I came in. Brute was one of my first classes I started to play, and it was very much a calculated. Like everyone, oh, it's random, it's random, it's random. The only thing that was random was like your dice roll on scab skins. Like everything else was like
Right.
I am highly calculating. I'm gonna have this card in hand. I'm gonna pitch this, so I have this floating. I'm gonna only discard one card that I know what it is. It's exactly what I want to discard. Everything I want to turn on is gonna turn on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pitch stack my deck and alpha rampage with 3 barraging beatdowns for like 20 unblockable damage, and
I
I
don't think that's possible. Oh, maybe it is. Anyway,
you that's what we used to do, like that's how you played the deck. Like you had to play like a long game,
Yeah.
and it was interesting, and you had to like understand the correct, know what cards to block with, know what cards you were going to pitch, and then which ones are going to be left over to discard. And then exactly what Isaac said, it just became like, oh, it's off the top of your deck. So you're just like, great, I just lost all control over this, and like now it's just
Right.
like the slapstick comedy hero class, and they haven't done anything else interesting with it really since then. I mean, I think I don't really include Shadow Brute in there because it's a vastly different approach to playing the deck and deck building and all that kind of stuff. And I do think they did some really great stuff with Levia Redeemed and Consumed, which make that much more viable and kind of solve some of that issue of just losing on the spot. But
yeah.
I just hope we see a Brute who wants to do something different. We've got warriors who do things different. We've got and also a guardian too. Like I'm really excited. Like I just hope they're not just like, oh, it's Rhinar again, and you're just like, dude,
Yeah.
like we've had Rhinar. Give us like another Brute to play with. Like I really, yeah. Zane, I'm with you. Club was so good. I love playing the club. Everyone with the claws, I was like, this is not as, I don't like it as much for some reason. But yeah, I think, for me, I'm just hoping for a new cool Brute, new cool Guardian. But I don't understand because I think they're doing 6 heroes again. So like, or is it, are they going to do the same
2 of
thing
each.
where they bring back like, one's just a young hero again, or is it going to be fucking KO? Like,
Yeah.
it's like they just don't understand, which I also don't understand because I know that like what's his name from
Kieran.
Kieran and Carol, like they get it, man. Those guys are there. They understand Brute that we love. Like I learned it from them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like I hope they're in there being like, come on, man, like every day just yelling at them in a meeting, like bring Brute back, like make oh, I don't want to say it, but like like
Yeah.
let's return to the good old days of Brute being like a fucking fun, calculated, cool mid-range class. But anyways,
I love this board meeting that you just
Yeah, so funny. Like,
and then
come on,
James White's
James,
there just
tell
like
me a freaking boat here.
he's like
We
turning
need
around,
brutes. Yeah.
and then he's like,
Carol would definitely be doing that.
no, there will roll more dice. And you're just like,
Carol, sit down.
yeah.
Do we need
Yeah,
to call
he just-
security again?
Latte thrown against the window.
I can't believe I gave up my
This is
podcast for
bullshit.
this.
Yeah, totally. Just flip something. Yeah. Just a brute maneuver fighting for brutes,
All right, Zane said that
Um,
all the heroes will have an adult form, which is
Yeah, I was going to say that. Confirmed. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, so we saw what we can do with Mechanologist, right? Which was way more than I thought they were going to do. I mean, we still fucking boosted a lot, which was fine. But we wound up with 3 heroes that do a lot of different stuff, you know? And even though it's weird when you transform into the mechanoid and it's got Dash's little rat tail face on there, and you're like, my name is Max. I look like this, but that's fine. That's still really cool. You know, Dashio wound up being awesome. So that's what I really want to have happen is for these 6 heroes to blow my fucking mind and get me psyched on these classes. You know what I mean? Like I have all of the Guardian cards, so I'm ready to go there. I have all the Warrior cards basically ready to go there. Um, so
And
they gotta be sick enough for me to pick them up and not play
yeah,
them over my boy Arachne.
don't get me wrong, Guardians are cool, but like also a different flavor of Guardian, you
Yeah,
know,
let's just do
and
something
a
other than
hammer
just
and a
like
shield and block,
yeah,
you know,
and have a
like
big attack that's like fuck, I gotta give you 3 cards. You're crushing me.
It's
Okay, you're gonna block some
dominated.
more, and now you're crushing me some more. Like, yeah, what else can a guardian do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm hoping with like the might and vigor and agility tokens that like the guardian is more like he's like the dude with a net in a gladiator thing, you know? It's like he's going to trip you up and stab you at the same time, but you know, he's like kind of defensive, but like not just like I can block everything and then smash. Like I don't know. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
what we got. Kasai, I think they did a really interesting thing with Kasai. Like it's kind of messed up.
yeah.
Blake keeps playing it at Armory, uh, taking in a loss so he can play the new hero that doesn't exist yet. And it's kind of crazy. You're just like you just do this like once per turn. You can just banish these cards and like you get gold. I don't know. It's crazy. It
I'm gonna
seems fun.
regicide
It's
the
like
fuck out of Blake
it's
for sure.
for sure, bro.
but yeah, I'm excited to see what they got. I have a question.
Oh, I maybe have an answer. Also, confirmed in chat. Darth Prentice loves to crank.
I love the crank.
People love to crank.
All right,
you
here's
know?
my
Yeah,
question.
nothing wrong with that. We're a sex positive show
Do you think no kink shaming here for sure? Do you think
for sure.
that they're just not going to go back to talents anymore? Like have they just been like whoops, talents was like kind of a mistake and we're just going to do these kind of like multi-class, you know, card system or
I don't think. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that talents are the problem, but I don't think like the talent mechanic innately is really a problem, right? Like
Yeah,
it does give a hero a bigger card pool because they have all the like ninja cards and all the draconic cards, for example, or whatever, but that doesn't have to be like a broken thing,
yeah,
right? Like they can be so attached to their talent that they like have to run certain cards to make their engine work. Um, you know, like Levia, for example. I think that they can do talents just fine. They just not have to like not run away with it and print a bunch of like really, really powerful talent cards and
totally.
have them have access to a bunch of really powerful generics and class cards and just like have this open-ended hero that can do these crazy things. I think it's more like a hero testing problem than like a talent because it's like I don't know. I don't think talent's that bad.
but I mean
Yeah, I totally.
I,
Well, I totally agree with Isaac. You know, it's not really talents, you know, like Briar is a great example. Actually, all of Tales of Aria is a great example of how little those talented heroes used their talent cards, you know, for the thing they were supposed to do. They just had open-ended abilities that made things really
Yeah.
good. You know what I
And
mean?
Winter's Whale.
Yeah, like the joke is like, when are we gonna have a generic hero? And everybody says Briar, right?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't run any, especially at the end of her life, like hardly any elemental rune blade cards, if any. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I just, they haven't done a new talent, and it's clear that ice was basically a mistake. uh,
Whoa.
I'm
look,
gonna hard
I
disagree with that.
hard disagree.
I'm hard disagreeing.
Yeah.
look,
I'm
it's, I
hard.
just,
Yeah, I'm so hard with my disagreement right now.
I don't know. We
Yeah,
went
and I disagree.
a full year without any
Nice,
new
Taylor.
talents, and like, when they introduced talents, it was like this is the real game. Like this is what everything was meant to be.
Totally.
And then they
Totally.
hard pivoted to like no talents. It's like they did Dust Till
Yeah.
Dawn, but that was just supporting new cards for old classes that, lost their heroes. So I just, I mean, I do agree that it's like they have a larger card pool. It's much harder to play test when you're introducing a bunch of new cards that can then be used with like every old card there is. Which is why I think Greg's joke about Q4 2025 is like, it might be a while before we see any new talents like coming out because of the impact talented heroes had on the meta, in the past.
Yeah, good point, Zane. People say ice is broken, but truly Earth heroes have been the more oppressive.
Yeah. Get the earth out of here, says Greg. He's
But
coming in
it's
with
like
hot takes. Get the earth out of here. I love to crank. Love Greg's awesome right now in the chat.
if you print a new brute, right? If it's a talented brute, then that new brute has access to all those talented cards and all the generic brute cards. But if you print a new brute that doesn't have a talent, you still print a bunch more new brute cards.
Yeah, it's like the same
so
thing.
he has access to the huge pool, and Reinar and Leviah also have access to that huge pool. So it's just like it's kind of the 6 of 1.
Totally.
And also,
I would
like
Fuck
to
you guys.
I mean, it's like
back to like
if they don't want them to be broken, you can just like shackle them to their talent cards more. You know what I mean?
I just thought
Like-
talents were cool, and like, we just have gotten rego heroes ever since then.
talents are cool. You were right, Colin.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I
think-
love talents. I would love to have more talents. It seems like a really cool way to design stuff and add flavor to heroes. Like everybody's like Ice Ninja, Shadow Wizard, like you can just with the few
Yeah.
talents we have, Earth Brute.
They would be so
You know?
cool. Earth Brute, I think, would be disgusting. I think that is.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's channel Mount Heroic Blood Rush.
I think
That's right,
up
Zane.
here.
Earth
Yeah.
Lore Surge Savage Feast.
Dude.
Let's
just
Seismic
do it.
surge.
Let's just say that Reinar is a shadow. No, wait, no, we already have a shadow brute.
We have a Shadow Brute, dude. Come on.
He is earthy brute, Fucking Kasai's just making people out of gold.
Yeah. Alchemy.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
I turn
Um,
I turn gold into people, man.
I did want to say, I think like people don't like ice because it doesn't let them play the game, which is an understandable critique, right?
Absolutely.
But like there's only so many mechanics in games, right? There's like blocking and attacking and like disruption, right? So I mean, right now there's like pretty much only like Uzuri and Azalea type hit effects. And there's
Guardian.
ice and there's aggro and there's sure, and Guardian, right? But so it's like if you take ice out, like the tax effect, then you just have hit effects and like attacking and blocking, right? And like that's kind of it.
Arachne's
So like
so cool, bro.
totally, and Arachne is unique, and I appreciate them adding that, that aspect to the game as well. But it's just like ice is just a tax effect, and it's been in games before, and it's there because it's like another important axis for the game, right? Like there's not really that many, and having a tax effect, like like Ice Lexi or Ice Wizard were not like dealing a lot of damage. They were just slowing the game down and making you play like at a certain tempo. So being able to adapt to that speed and still succeed was like the trick. And I like it. I think it was good for the game.
I think,
I agree.
my ultimate sadness with talents is that
Satan says CMH Blood Rush Bellow turns.
Yeah, dude, no.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's what we want. I want to feel something again in this game. Let's fucking break it.
Yeah.
You say that now.
Fuck it.
Greg was right.
Starvo was
disgusting.
bad. I think, all right, so my ultimate sadness with talents is that thematically beautiful, wonderful, great idea. In practice, you get Wounded Bull, Icelander, and fucking Briar just being Briar. Where like,
yeah, but Wounded Bull Icelander is like sick. That's a dope deck.
Yeah, you did not see that Wounded Bull coming, right?
No,
I
don't.
It was just a little Ice Wizard standing there.
I'm just saying that like
some naked guy jumped out of the woods and smacked you.
Makes zero sense at all. That the Ice Wizard is like, let me just punch you for 7. Like, cool.
And it makes zero sense why any of these characters are fighting each other, except for now in the set, Heavy Hitters is the only time it has made sense in the history of the game.
Look, no, okay. So the chain banishes cards because he's dealing with like dark magic, like Wizard manipulates the top of his deck, like these things make sense to me. I'm just saying that like, Briar, we got the closest to a druid that we're probably ever gonna get, and what did she do? She played 0-for-4s with Go Again that were largely generic cards.
Totally.
And it's just like, and that's something I have to deal with because like I've read recently that it was like you have to play the game that you're given, not the game that you think it should be. Like that's not what we are. We have rules, we have cards. You play the game that you're given, and the whole game of deck building and Flesh and Blood and metas is like people figuring that out and doing that better than other people and finding things that are outside of what you would have normally thought. But I still have a dissonance inside of me of like, but I want it to be like this. Like I want to be, I want to be doing brute stuff that feels like brute stuff, not just like, oh, let me roll my dice and see what happens. Like,
Absolutely.
But
totally agree. I totally agree.
Just where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at after I drank like most of this drink. So I'm sorry.
I would love for those heroes that had such great flavor, like for Lightning Lexi to have been a deck. You know what I mean? Like that would have been
cool.
sick.
Lightning was so
Earth Old Him, would have been sick. That would have been really cool. But even Lightning Briar, all of that stuff would have been really, really cool.
Instant
but it did not happen.
She just did.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Vela Flash. I love that card.
Yeah.
Unplayable.
So I agree with you there that like those talents should have done that. And you're right. I understand I'm on board with mechanics and decks matching themes. I'm on board for that. And I think that's really
I think
that's where we're going.
Yeah, but it seems they're doing that by not doing talents.
Yeah, totally.
Like that's kind of like the idea I'm feeling, which I don't. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like it seems like it's easier to do when you're releasing so many sets a year, and like it's actually quite a lot more difficult to try to balance something that like literally just says like every card that exists for this class plus a bunch of new ones. Like what could go wrong? Like I don't know. Everything. Nothing.
You can design your hero more tightly around their talent. You know what I mean? Like Fi is a draconic hero that doesn't care about. I mean, he doesn't care about draconic stuff. Kinda. I mean,
it does because of Searing Emberblade and Phoenix Flame.
Yeah.
and some cards. But yeah,
Until he runs,
Kodachis.
Kodachis. Oh my God, we up to 699. Come on, someone hit me with 700. I'm gonna slack my belly. No, I think it's just interesting. We'll see where it goes. It's just not to say I haven't enjoyed like just the straight, regular class sets. Like that's not a bad thing. I just was like curious that like we're not doing much with those talents that we like
Totally.
literally
My thing is,
melted our brain. Like when Monarch came out,
yeah,
like, holy shit,
dude, we
like,
flipped out. I will never forget recording a podcast. We finished recording. More spoilers came out, and we were just like, "What the fuck is an Urser token?" And so we had to turn the mics back on and record another 45 minutes, and then there you go, 3 hours, 3 hour podcast from back in the day.
I would like to say talents add a great aspect of tension to draft, right? And without talents, all you have is generic cards like Welcome to Wraith, which I think is fine on a kind of simplistic level, but you can't just keep doing that. And so like Shadow and Light and Monarch was like the first way to do it, and then Arya I thought did it really well because it was like 3 heroes and they're all connected differently. So if you're not doing that, you have to do like Outsiders where there's 2 of each class and generics, or like Bright Lights where they're all mechs, and those are all like interesting dynamics. But the talent is like a really easy and interesting way to add like layers to the tension, right? Because then you could have generics, you can have class cards, and you could have talented cards, and anyway.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of value.
The dual
there.
class card kind of replace the talent
Is that
pool,
yeah.
And that's why I think it's really interesting to see the development across the past year plus of like, I think Tales of Aria was super interesting draft set. I think like a meta evolved around it that continued to change through that season, which was like interesting. I think it got solved and it was less so at the end, but like the process of it was really cool. And seeing like, oh, like I can take this card that's my class card. Was there generic cards in that set?
No, not in Aria.
And or my solid element or dual element or like whatever, and like you had this like more interesting equation to solve. And I think they've done that. They've recreated that with the dual class cards. And I think they're doing a good job of like making those cards like interesting and impactful in draft, but not like busted in constructed
CC. Yeah.
Which is that in itself is like, cool. And it's all in there. Like all the pieces are in there. They're tinkering with it. I can see the thought process of it. I just, it's fun when they release like a wholly new thing that you're just like,
totally. And that's my thing that I really want is I just want some new classes. Like, what else can we do with this game? I know we can design different types of heroes in the same class, but what are new classes looking like? What does an alchemist look like? What does a necromancer look like? What does a druid look like? What does a cleric look like? Like those are the things I really want to see. And that's what I really hope we do see in 2024.
I think it's a little tough for LSS because half the people are like, we need ranger support. I've been a diehard Azalea player for years.
Absolutely.
And it sucks, and then also people want to see new classes, so they do have to strike that balance, I think. But I agree with you, Taylor. I agree.
Thank you.
But also everybody wants their hero support.
Totally. But that's also because they keep printing, like new players come in and we still keep getting warriors, guardians, brutes, ninjas, and they're like, sick, this is my hero. This is my class. I love it that there's more of this. So it's like perpetual in that way. If we just were like, here's a new hero, then you'd be like, I'm all about this new hero. That's me. I'm an alchemist.
Me.
Maybe.
I them.
I don't like to buy into too many heroes, but
totally. But if you were just starting, right?
Yeah, maybe. You just have to buy all and collect all the legendaries and everything associated with them.
You gotta do that anyways with any class.
Yeah, you start with any class if
Well,
you're
you
brand
just like
new.
upgrade your brute stuff, for
Yeah,
example,
but
instead of having to
if
buy
you're
all of
a
them.
new player and you have
Yeah,
no cards,
for
yeah,
sure. For sure.
yeah,
And we're trying to attract new players.
yeah.
Did you say trap?
Attract. Yeah, trap. I mean, it's the same thing. Once you're in,
Take
they're
one
like,
damage.
got you, man. Like,
Got him.
all right. Thank you for
I
joining
wanted
me
to,
on that aside.
dude. That was great. This is what the live podcast is all about: getting wasted and just fucking going for it. You got chat fired up too.
Woo!
Yeah.
Um, what about like we've had quite a few draft sets now. So like, what in your guys' opinion? And chat, please let me know what's the like refinement here for Flesh and Blood draft. Like, what do they got to do in this set that we want to see? You know what I mean? Because for me personally, draft has been just like okay. I have not been like just fucking stoked. You know, Outsiders was fine. I think Outsiders is maybe a little bit better than Bright Lights for me personally. And Uprising was, probably the worst. But what are your thoughts? How do we refine this model?
I did think Uprising was the worst also. So I was not prepared for this question, but just off the top of my head, I want more interesting cards, right? Like a lot of draft sets are full of mostly uninteresting cards. And like that's okay, right? You have like a rainbow of this generic or a rainbow of this mech card that does 2, 3, or 4 damage for one, or you know what I mean? Like whatever. So it's just nice when you have more interesting decisions when you're holding your pack, right? Like if I only have 2 real cards that I'm looking at, or 3 real cards that I'm looking at, or one I hope wheel, that's fine. But the more you're have to think about it, and the more you're agonizing over it, just makes for a richer experience, in my opinion.
Colin?
I'm overwhelmed by choice, so
Humans are. That's the.
I don't have an answer because I'm bad. I'm bad at it. I'm bad at draft. I'm bad at sealed. So I'm just gonna say what our chat's saying. Nate's saying equipment that blocks. I think that's awesome. Having some generic equipment that blocks is kind of cool. We've done a lot of the quell and things that prevent damage. We've had a lot of equipment that does really interesting effects as activated abilities. But a lot of those times they're not even it's like you won't even get to use it half the time when you're playing. So having just some good equipment that blocks, that helps you out so that you can have that turn where you're like, okay, I'm gonna block some and I'm gonna pivot so that I don't take too much of a life deficit to do something good on my turn. Because I think when you are, I mean, it seems like they've been printing a lot more cards of it's like they attack for 6, they attack for 7. There's big hitters in draft, and I think when that's the case and you're blocking for 2 sometimes, and then I do think the block cards have been an interesting addition. But they're not printing defense reactions really anymore. I think they really can't print generic defense reactions unless they do just re-release Sink Below and Fate Foreseen, which I think is a fine way of kind of dealing with that when you need to. But it is hard to balance the I'm going to give you my cards to try to do something, but if it's just not impactful enough, you can really just kind of get stuffed in a game. So I think that's a really great idea. Zane says more creative uses use cases for cards in multiple decks. I think the multi-use or multi-class cards are like kind of touching that, but they're like, I think they're inherently nerfed a little bit to not be overpowered for constructed. So I think that's kind of like a hard line for them to tote. But
Some of them are pretty cool though. Like Death Touch, like Riptide can just reload it, or Uzuri can just smack you with it.
yeah, and I think that is cool. It's not for every ranger, it's not for every assassin, but for a couple of them, it's like really interesting card to use. I think the limitation on playing it from Arsenal, like I feel like they're getting more mature in those decisions of like, how do we balance this card so that it's not just like auto include for every single class of this type. It only works with these people because they want to do a specific thing or can do a specific thing. So I think that's
yeah. Totally. I that's the one thing I was going to talk about, or at least that's what popped into my mind, was Zane's point about more creative uses for cards in multiple decks. Like, I think now I could be wrong, but I think we thought that the card pool in Bright Lights was going to lead to more kind of archetypes between each of those heroes. And that kind of didn't pan out, at least in the way I wanted it to, for there to be like multiple ways to play those heroes. There's like definitely a few cards you can have in there that kind of change small strategies in a certain way, but not as drastically as like I kind of want to have happen. And I think that's what other games do really well in draft, is that you allow players to on the fly creatively deck build and find something within those pool of cards that is reasonable to play and maybe is surprising for your opponent. You know what I mean? We really only have that like maybe really early in formats when nobody knows what the fuck's going on. You know what I mean? And then once the format is like more solved or Worlds fucking comes around, you like see where it is. And then that's how then. So that's what I would like, is just for there to be kind of a creative drafting experience, That's kind of how, and that's kind of what Sealed needs to as well. But that's like a whole different story. So that's what I thought. I got a message from a coworker, one of my favorite coworkers, that they're watching the podcast right now.
You tell your coworkers about this?
No, dude, they just like find out somehow, and sometimes I just let it slip that like I have a podcast, which is stupid. But shout out to them.
Oh yeah, I totally have a podcast. Oh, what? Did I tell you that?
Nobody says that.
Sometimes I whip out the podcast mic as like a joke, and then they're like, "Oh, you have like a," and then I just duck any questions after that because I'm like, you're
totally. Well, it's hard when they're like sometimes like, so what are you doing later, or something, and you're like, you could just say, oh, nothing, but then you open yourself up to
being invited
other questions
to stuff
or whatever. Yeah,
fuck that.
It's a fun dynamic to share. Like sometimes, yeah, like every once in a while, a coworker will find out that I like competitively played a card game, or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it's interesting.
We have a mildly successful podcast, so that's something to be proud of. We get no recognition or invited to anything cool, but
all right. Speaking
people
of
know
which,
who we are.
Everyone who's listening, not the people watching, because it's just our people who already support us a lot, and we love you. And thank you for joining us tonight. But everyone who's listening, who is like, I don't want to join Patreon. I don't, you don't want to commit to something. I get it. Go on to Spotify, go on to iTunes, give us a review. I think this is still something that matters. And I saw that we have like 5 reviews on iTunes. We need to get those reviews up there. So like, I should have said this earlier, but we're saying it now, an hour and a half into 5 to 40 minutes into this podcast.
I know that's our problem, is we got to say it at the beginning
We'll do it
And then
next
they
time.
click off.
It's gonna be a new.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 2024's thing. Is me telling you to leave a review on iTunes. But for everyone who's listening this deep into it, thank you for being here, and also give us a star rating on Spotify. Give us a review on iTunes. Like, it will help the podcast run higher in other people's feeds. Whatever. Like, it's a small thing. Subscribe on YouTube, even if turn off the notifications. Like, if that's what bothers you, just turn it off. But subscribe so we can get to 1,000 users. I've been trying to get to 1,000 subs for 2 years, and we're very close. But
that's my goal for 2024, 1,000 subs.
And then I can serve you ads, and I can make 12 cents a month off those ads.
Yeah, then you get to watch ads while you listen.
No, but you get community tools. You can do fun stuff. You can interact more. You can understand more who's actually watching and engaging with you. They bar all that shit behind subscriber numbers. So, if you can, please do those two things, and I will appreciate it.
Yeah, and the best part about those things, it's free.
They're free. That's why you should do that.
They're free.
Everyone who gives us money, I don't care. You do whatever you want. I love you. You're the most incredible people on earth, and I am honored that you think anything I say is worthwhile. It's probably those two guys you think is worthwhile. I'm just here to fucking stream this shit from my computer.
No way. I think Colin's the best of us.
An integral part of the team.
We're a team. We're all here together. Friendship, This is what this is about. All
That's
right.
what it's all about.
So, surprise
Colin
segment.
had a cocktail.
Here we're going. We're going right into it.
Team friendship.
Whoa, you have a surprise for us? Woo! Woo! Is this...
Yes.
Do you have a different scene up here now? Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Amazing. My gown I wore tonight is... Good thing I put on my gown. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I love it. I'm ready.
I've been muted this whole time. Now I'm back. Thank you, Greg. I'm gonna have to talk to Greg about how to be better at audio engineering. I'm back now. We're doing Fab Awards. Welcome everyone. I have 2 questions. We're gonna have... Sorry. They missed my good joke about this being brought to you by the Manhattan cocktail that I drank. Good. At least I put it back in there. All right.
Well,
So
you got it in there now. Yeah. We're
2
good.
questions. Best hero released this year. Best set released this year. So, if you're not sure, our heroes, we had Arachne Solitary Confinement, Young Boy. I accidentally put Azalea and Benji on here, but they already existed, and Katsu, so I'm not sure if that actually counts, but whatever. We got, is his name Brevant?
Brevant.
The weird...
This way, citizen.
The weird narc guardian.
Yeah. Go to your home, citizen, unless I force you there.
Curfew is in effect. Let me escort you home or to jail.
Cease and desist, citizen.
All right, we got ASC, we got Brevant, we got Dashio, we got Max, we got Melody the Bard, New Prism, Riptide, Teklovasen, what Esteemed Magnate, is stupidest name, Azuri, and Vincent. Those are our new heroes for this year. What's your favorite? Somebody say something.
That's hard, dude. That's
Wait.
really hard.
What? Where did Brevent come from again?
The
Galarian's ultimate pit fight
the pit
cop.
fighter
Right.
Cop
product.
Like, who
situation.
the fuck is Brevent?
Yeah.
He's the fucking
He
narc
talks just
guardian.
like yeah, he talks just like this. Here, let me show you again.
No, I know. Yeah.
That is illegal, citizen. I will write you a citation now.
Stop resisting.
Please return to your home.
Yeah.
All right, my vote's Uzuri.
Wow.
That's
Out of
pretty good.
nowhere.
Sure.
I would have never have guessed that from you. That's crazy.
It would have been Arachne. However, Arachne came out like last November or something. So
Yeah, just
Totally.
before. And
I'm gonna
ASC is
say
not the
Uzuri.
same. You know?
Man,
for
that's
like flavor and for
crazy.
game mechanics, like health of the game. You know, even though she's infuriating to play against as a ranger.
I'm gonna go with our girl Vincent. Fuck it, we ball.
Oh, fuck it. We ball with
Ooh,
Vincent. All
nice.
right.
I think that hero was, albeit like slightly less powerful than our hopes and dreams, but of course the pitchforks and torches would have been lit and we would have rampaged LSS if the new Shadow Runeblade was like too good. So I get it. But she does some cool shit and has some cool cards, and you can do some wild stuff with her and creepers and eloquence tokens if it happens. And I think she also wins on the flavor side, is just like cool and has a fucked up story, tragic.
Damn.
So anyway,
All
I'm
right,
going with
well,
Vincent.
To just throw a wrench in it so nobody actually wins, we'll have 3 winners. Riptide, baby. Riptide
Hey.
gamers. How could
Yeah.
you not love a dude with one arm and literal stink lines coming off of him? And just like dead, severed heads on his waist. Like, what a baller.
I think he probably wins flavor wise. That was a good hero to decide.
Yeah, you could taste him from here for sure. All right. Greg saying melody, no contest.
Yeah.
I wish the bard
The
mechanics.
fuck's
were,
wrong with you, Greg?
I wish the bard mechanics were more interesting. I love back in the day. I feel like it was like almost 2 to 3 years ago.
100 years?
We
Oh,
were talking about what a bard mechanic could be, and we're like, what if you have to like pitch chords and you have to pitch one of each card, like a red, yellow, and blue to like
yeah.
do a thing. And then they were just like, no, it's just bard. They just help everybody. It's more like on the D&D thing where it's like bardic inspiration is their only mechanic. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get anything more interesting on bards, but they're kind of disappointing. But anyways, we kept true to our living lurker status. Only over here we had Uzuri, Vincent, and Riptide, heroes of the year. Congratulations to all 3. All right, and then we have our set of the year. This one's probably pretty easy. It was only Outsiders, Dusk Till Dawn, and Bright Lights.
For me, it's Outsiders. I mean, I think there's maybe an argument to say that Outsiders is the fucking problem, because it unlocked Lexi and gave us codexes, which are still the coolest. Okay, codexes are coolest, and I think those are some of the coolest marvels we've had. And we also get flick knives out of there, and that's like one of the dopest legendaries. And it just, I don't know, it fucking changed shit, man.
Whoa.
So Outsiders.
Nice.
Yeah, made Azalea good.
That's
That
true.
was cool. I'm gonna say I don't know. I appreciate what they tried to do with Dusk Till Dawn. I don't think they succeeded, and it wasn't draftable, so that's like makes it even worse. But replacing old heroes that had LL'd is very cool because it makes your cards playable again, and like upgrading Labaya
but does it?
is like, yeah. So I think it was a failure, but it was a I just want to support the effort, I guess.
Yeah,
But I will
Absolutely.
I will also say Outsiders. I initially kind of liked Outsiders Limited, the draft experience, and I still think it was a good one. It got a little bit stale after a while for me. It was a little bit grindy, I think. But still very good.
Yeah.
Good set. Introduced, Missouri Riptide, just 6 heroes, each had their lane. Very, very well designed set.
yeah. We're just gonna give it to Outsiders. Outsiders, clear winner of the year.
Clear winner.
Uh,
Congratulations.
drafting, we had a six pod, 6-man pod. We drafted 6 separate heroes. It was very cool and interesting. Like that's pretty dope. So Outsiders gets a lot just because it was super interesting. I think this year was an interesting year altogether. I agree with Isaac. I think they really tried with Dust Till Dawn, and I think it just kind of missed slightly. But I think more than other sets, it does feel like it has long term implications for those heroes that were included in it. It was very narrow in its expansion set focus, and I think Bright Lights, honorable mention. It was kind of pretty ballsy, just be like, we're just gonna do Mechanologist, and people still had fun doing it. So all right, that's it. That's the Fab
It
Awards.
worked.
Thanks everybody for coming to gaming's most illustrious night. We loved it here. It was great. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
I love it, Colin. Okay, so you guys, I don't think we're going to have enough time to get through all of our things still on the outline.
Yeah, that was more
What
of
would
like
you guys like to tackle?
it was more of like a recommendation.
Well, let's do what flavor is it? Bright Lights edition.
Woo!
I just ate the
Dun
cherries
dun
in my drink.
dun.
I'm so fucked.
Perfect. Yeah, you totally are. So no cheating. Can't look at chat. Okay. I can
All
see
right,
your
turn it on
faces
chat.
here too, so don't be fucking
I gotta
looking
close the
anywhere
chat.
except for
Chat's
straight
off.
into the
Chat,
straight into
off.
the camera here. Okay, here we go. So I have a number of questions plus a bonus question here. Chat, feel free to play along. So if you don't know, these are going to be multiple choice questions based off of flavor text. Excuse me, beer burp. In the set Bright Lights. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Dash said everything. Am I right?
Hey. Actually, I think the heroes say very
Nothing?
little to nothing in the
My
set.
answer is Kyle every fucking time.
I didn't put him in here because it was too obvious.
No.
But he is awesome.
Rip Kyle.
Question 1. What card has the following flavor text? Ram up the Scudder deployment. We need more Tenant. Now! Taskmaster Hyrian. Was it A, Liquid Cooled Mayhem, B, Heavy Artillery, or C, Terminator Tank? I will now give you a moment to deliberate on what card that is from.
Can you
I'm
read
ready.
the flavor text again?
Yep. Ramp up the Scudder deployment. We need more Tenant now. Taskmaster Hyrian. Was that A, Liquid Cooled Mayhem, B, Heavy Artillery, or C, Terminator Tank?
Isaac was
All
ready.
answers are final. Isaac, how about you start?
Heavy artillery.
Okay, Colin. That's fine. Silence is good for radio.
I did a deep breath. Okay, everyone hears me thinking deeply. Fuck. I think Isaac's right, but I'm gonna say something else for to be different. I'm gonna say Liquid Cooled Mayhem.
That is correct, Colin. It is Liquid Cooled Mayhem. 1-0. Congratulations. You are ahead in this battle of wits. Question 2. Which card has the following flavor text? Stability is the bedrock of Metric City. Peace and profit go hand in hand. Enforcer, Issa. Was that A, Steel Street Enforcement? B, Street Steel Enforcement? Or C, Steel Street Task Force?
That all sounds
Think
like
about
the
it.
same card.
I'm ready.
Isaac's ready. What is it?
He's just going for it. Okay, Isaac's ready. Good. No cheating.
What was A and B again? Steel Street
A.
Enforcer.
Steel Street Enforcement.
Enforcement.
B, Street Steel Enforcement.
I'm gonna say B. Street Steel Enforcement. Is that even?
I'm going to say A.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure if all those are cards
I think he
or
tricked
just
us.
something Taylor made up.
I know it's challenging. So I'm going to give you both a point here because, Colin, you said the correct name, but it was actually A. So it's Steel Street Enforcement is the card. Street Steel Enforcement is not the card, and neither is Steel Street Task Force. Well done. It's a block card. It's a blue card. And it has some top robots on it.
But I said B.
I actually
though.
knew that.
I know, but then you said Steel Street Enforcement, and B was Street Steel Enforcement. So I'm going to give it to you both.
All right. Is
You're
B
ahead.
even a
2-1.
card?
No.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I just
I feel like you
I
made
just
one of
flipped
these up.
Street and Steel. I made 2 of them, 2 out of the 3 up.
I had read that flavor text and knew the
Yeah.
answer.
That was from the reaction step. Shout out to our other show.
Question 3. Which card has the following flavor text? Data corrupted, thought scrambled, lucidity protocol enabled, data doll Mark 1. So that's who said it. Is it A, system failure, B, system reset, or C, security script? Think for a moment while you gather your thoughts and understand everything. I'll read it again if you would like me to.
B, system reset.
I agree with Colin.
You would both be correct. System reset it is. It's that really dope kind of automaton art of Data Doll. Also interesting, it says Data Doll Mark 1 because the Data Doll we have as a hero is Mark 2. Yeah.
Whoa.
Very interesting. Okay, Colin is just keeping his 1-point lead on Isaac this whole time. Let's see if he can tie things up here with question number 4. Which card has the following flavor text? It's be quick or be dead in the old rust and dust. Sandy shoe. Is it A, fender bender, B, lay waste, or C, outpace? Pretty good. Pretty tough. Colin knows his answer.
I'm going with B.
Isaac is going with B. Colin?
What was C again?
Outpace.
Outpace.
We'll do C.
Colin, you are correct again for 4 for 4, baby. You're smoking Isaac.
I rolled them up.
Great
job.
Smoked.
Okay, 5th and final question before our ultimate bonus question because I made it, so we're going to use it, even though this isn't close. Question 5. Which card has the following flavor text? Metrics, city of industry, where the streets are paved with opportunity and progress waits for no one. Is it A, Data Link, B, Quicken Token, or C, Razzle Dazzle? Again, metrics, city of industry, where the streets are paved with opportunity and progress waits for no one. Data Link, Quicken Token, or Razzle Dazzle?
I'm going to say razzle dazzle.
I'm going to say A.
You are both wrong. It is the Alt Art Quicken Token.
No way, really?
Yeah, has flavor text.
I thought you were just being a jerk.
No, wait. Last time we did what flavor is it? I added in quick or tokens as well. So I
Oh
thought
my
maybe that one was going to be
God.
too easy, but I see y'all's forgot. Okay, great job. Colin, you won the regular round 4-2, but this next question is worth infinity points. So that'll determine the true winner.
Is infinity really
Bonus
a number,
question.
though?
It's every number ever in existence.
Oh, good point.
So, yes. Out of the 15 expansion slot cards in Bright Lights, how many have flavor text? And for infinity points, what cards are they? Is it A, 6, B, 4, C, 2, or D, 0?
4.
Okay. Isaac's just going for it. Love it. Get it going for it.
C2.
Well, Colin, your crown was short-lived because Isaac has gotten infinity points. It is 4. Woo!
Wow. What an
Crowd
upset.
goes wild. What an upset. Come from behind victory. Incredible.
Totally.
Isaac, can you name the 4 cards?
No, I'm very glad you gave me the points already.
Can you
No
name one of the
thanks to
cards?
Maxis.
Any card.
No, I don't know. I'm not
Don't
going to
even-
fill our air with a bunch of silence while I think about it forever. So
Is
I'm
it
going to
already
say
dead?
no.
Already dead?
Nope.
Damn.
Nope. Do you want to give a few guesses, Colin? Go ahead. Double or nothing, Nate says. Yeah, if you can name 2, you also get infinity points.
Oh, God. I can't think of any. No, we're done.
There's 4. There's 4 of them. That's
Yeah,
like
but
almost a third.
It's not Shriek Razors because it's a legendary.
All right, what
That's correct.
Toma Firebrand?
Incorrect.
Oh, that was a good guess.
That is a good guess.
What else was in there? I don't remember what else was
Slay.
in there.
Slay is one of them.
Slay?
Uh-huh. Where the angel has fallen to the demon situation. That really cool card.
Oh.
Dust from the Chrome Caverns also has flavor
Oh,
text
yeah.
on it. Wax Off has flavor text on it.
Ugh.
And everybody's favorite card from the set, Smashing Performance, has a long
Oh my God,
paragraph
yeah, it does.
from Battlemaster Cox or whatever his name is.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you for playing. What flavor is it? Bright Lights Edition. That was very fun. I hope everybody enjoyed that.
That
I
was
think
great.
everybody likes it when I do quizzes.
I
Thank you,
had
Taylor.
fun because I was winning and then I
Victorious yet again.
Yet again.
just like a regular game of Flesh and Blood. I was having fun and then I lost. All right.
All right, well, I'm going to turn the chat back on.
Yeah, me too. You made me turn the chat off.
Nothing even happened in the chat, so it was like pretty boring.
Shh.
Oh, okay.
You mean
Gotcha.
so many people were like, "Oh my God, you guys!" The
The
chat
best
moved
quiz.
so fast I couldn't read it. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
All 5 of them.
look, 5 of my best friends.
So, what do you guys think? We could bank
3 of them
our
are us.
listener. We could bank
Just
our
kidding.
listener questions for our next episode.
I
Oh
think-
no, we should rapid fire those.
You want to
think
go
so?
through them?
Yeah, let's rapid fire these.
All right, let's do it. How has your engagement with Flesh and Blood changed since last year? For better or worse? Hades.
Thanks, Australian Hayden, the real Australian Hayden. My engagement has changed. I practice less for competitive events, but I still like watch all of the content and follow all of the people and that sort of thing. And it's not better or worse. It's just necessary because that's what my life says I have to do if I want to continue to play and that sort of thing. Do I want to be better at the game and practice more so I can do that? Absolutely, I do. There you go. Colin?
Uh, engagement changed. Well, no, it didn't change because I couldn't pick a hero to play. I played too many different heroes. I didn't get good at any of them. I had a rough time doing that, and then I had less time to do all of it. So that's the part that changed. Is just a little less time, and so maybe a little worse. Unfortunately,
Perspective.
this year, next year is a new thing.
Yeah, right around the corner. Isaac.
My year started off the same. I was playing like semi-competitively and driving to tournaments. And then the second half of the year, I got too busy for that, unfortunately. So the second half of the year, it changed quite a lot. But, hopefully that's like a semi-temporary thing. So, I mean, honestly, not much just compared to last year. I definitely play less kitchen table and less for fun, which I'm hoping to change in this coming year.
Nice. All right. And wait, Taylor, you answered first, right?
I did.
All right, cool. What are you most excited about that's coming up for Fab? I'll go first.
That's from Patrick.
That's from Patrick, our local judge who we ping in real time for judge questions during
I can't believe he's
recordings.
not in the chat right now.
It's
a
a
little
Monday,
disappointed.
it's.
He's on break from school.
Well, good for him. He's taking a break. Anyways,
He's probably hanging out with
what am
his
I
dog
most
and his
excited about?
girlfriend,
The blue 6 power card they haven't shown us yet for heavy hitters. That's going to be game changing.
That's a really good answer.
That's
Isaac.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, same, like, fresh, different Brute. A new avenue for Brute, moving away from what they've been doing.
New year, new Brute.
What am I most excited about? That's coming up. I'm just excited to get my hands on corrosive tendencies and fucking game hard with Arachne.
Nice. I love
Boom.
it.
Hard game.
Next question. What are you looking forward to in 2024? Mike Popovich. Isaac, you start.
In terms of flesh and blood, I guess. So I'm looking forward to rebalancing my involvement with the game, or like rekindling the spark for flesh and blood, because I kind of like started out heavy kitchen table and fun and kind of ended up strictly traveling competitive. And I would like to have more enjoyment for enjoyment's sake without like the need for, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like going to tournaments and competing, but that's like only one aspect of the game for me. So like reconfiguring everything so it's like at a enjoyable ratios. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm going to
What about you guys?
piggyback off of that answer, and my answer
You hop on there, buddy.
is Hype House 2024, because it is all about getting us to that kitchen table and playing games and being together and having fun and yelling at each other loudly, hopefully. Is
Great answer.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm most excited for next year too, is the Hype House.
That is a great answer.
Next question.
All right. Is the funness of a hero inversely proportional to its success in the metagame? Mitch.
So like if it's really fun, it's then shitty to play competitively. Is that what he's saying?
Or a hero becomes less fun if it's
For me,
ultra successful.
yes. Or seemingly
Also
yes.
for me, yes.
It feels like yes. It feels like the heroes that I'm like, this will be fun to play, is not. And then it is successful, and I'm like, well, I don't want to play this. But that's just me and my bullshit. But it feels like that way.
I feel that
sometimes.
way. I feel that way for sure, except for Chain was kind of the exception for me. Because, or at least at the original time, it still was like not considered absolutely the best. It took it a little bit to hit that status where it was like, oh, right, that hero's like crazy broken, right? So you could play the best deck and then people would still argue that you just fatigue him. And it's like, you can't get fatigued.
Yeah,
So
I would also say yes. But to me, uh like correlation does not equal causation, right? So I would argue yes, because I really like decks that are more complex and have like more depth and have engines and like you're doing like four things at once and stuff like that. But oftentimes those decks end up being too convoluted and like too risky and end up being less good. But there are obvious exceptions to that rule, right? Like the original Chain or Dromai is a bit like that, just in terms of her like very different game plans, or at least used to be in previous metas. So that's not always the case, but like Levi is a good example, right? Really fun to play, not great because of a very complicated engine.
Nice.
Next question.
next
All right.
question. Favorite fab. Oh, did I already ask one? No, that was Isaac who did that one. Funness inversely. Favorite fab moment / memory of the year. Did I say that wrong? Or
No.
you're just thinking.
You said it right. I'm just trying to think of everything that happened.
My favorite memory of the year was going to Oregon for, I think it was
ProQuest.
Road to Nats.
Road to Nats.
Did that also for ProQuest. But oh no, yeah, it was Road to Nats.
It was Road to Nats.
And we jetted up there and we stayed up late partying and playing games and just had a great time and like only slept 5 hours each night. And then I won the tournament on the second day and was like dog tired and then drove home all night and got home at 6 a.m. And it was so exhausting from just too much fun. And before the finals, I was like, should I just concede so we should go home? And like Mitch looked at me, I was like, what? No, dude, we're here. You're playing, you're playing. It wasn't like not even a question. I was like, oh yeah, okay. So that was
Awesome.
pretty fun. It was a good weekend.
Nice. I'm gonna say
Go ahead, Colin.
the Living Lurkers tier attack
Ooh. Yeah.
reaction step episode. I literally had the most fun with you guys being stupid and making up our own shit, and it felt great. It was fun. That's all I got.
We should
Nice.
have a game or tournament or whatever at the Hype House.
Hype
for
House Living Lurkers tournament is happening.
Oh, dude.
you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. We're doing that. Play anywhere. Get 1 XP. Living Lurkers only format. It's going to be sick.
Nice.
And it's going to be crazy because we're going to have to do a whole new tier list because there'll be like a new set.
Dude.
Mm.
Some people have gone.
It's going to be crazy. My favorite moment, I think, was just like fucking sacking it up and playing a deck I thought was just really fun to play regardless of my outcome. Like, I think that was really fun for me to just play Arachne at a ProQuest, and just be like, cool. Like, it's not that bad playing a hero that I know is not going to win the tournament. I had a blast. I get to play my favorite all-time deck. So that was great. That was one of my favorite moments. I mean, also anything where, every time me or Isaac go to a tournament, it's always like a travel. Like Battle Hardened LA also happened this year, and that was fun as shit. Yeah, it was great. It's all awesome. So,
All right. 2024 resolutions or goals. I just got one. It's easy. I just want to play a bit more, With my friends, not just on Talishar. Talishar I've found increasingly unpleasant
it's
to
terrible.
play. I wanna hang out in person or virtually with my own friends and play games.
For me, it's to actually practice for the next event I plan on playing at and feel really comfortable that I will competitively do well. So I want to like top eight, just anything. Just feel good about my performance at an event and feel prepared. That's my goal.
Nice. I already stated my goals for next year. So,
Nice.
Stick.
and those were both from Darth Prentice. What hero will surprisingly LL next year? Mike Popovich. Ooh, this is a good one. I'm gonna say Bolton. New warrior cards,
Nice.
tough combo deck. Ice is gone.
Cool. I'm going with Kano because he's always kind of winning bigger events. And if he wins enough big events, he just gets big chunks of LL points and then he's gone.
Yeah, even if he's never the meta.
Yeah.
Yep, that's cool.
Why would you do that to me?
Yeah, fuck
Now-
no. Kano out of CC is gonna be a sad day.
Let's
For
see.
I mean, sorry, but
personally.
whatever, you know. Still play him in LL.
He's only got 182 points. He's fine. My surprise, because the new Kasai is gonna do it. She's gonna be busted.
Hell yeah.
She can make up people out of money. She's gonna LL within the year.
I will say she sounds busted. I haven't like played her or anything yet, but you
I don't know
know,
if she is busted, but I'm just saying it because it's fun.
good power, good cards.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
dudes.
Next question. If you could reimagine any of the LL'd heroes, what would their new versions look like? And that's from our boy Riptide Jesus, aka Jesse. What is Jesse's last name?
Harper.
Harper.
Orc
That's
Knight.
true.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I got mine.
All right, go for it. You got it.
It's Briar, but she's really deep into elemental runeblade shit and none of this like go again generic bullshit.
That was going to be my answer for all three of those Arya heroes.
Nice. I'm gonna say Starvo because it's now broken in LL, which is stupid. You know, it's just like it's stupid in general. And while I would never like the flavor or play of that hero, I feel like it was just a huge miss, right? Like the power could be something like reveal one of these elements at the start of your turn. Or if you have played a lightning card, you get this bonus on your next attack. Or if you have played an ice card, this happens. Or you know what I mean? Where you could like pick the flavor or the effect of that turn, but it was like you would have to work around it and have like deck balancing. You know, it's just so simplistic to just draw it and slap it down and have all the things. And anyway,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying. So
Totally.
that could have been something, but you know, instead it was everything.
Should I just read this next one? Okay, I will.
You didn't say
thoughts?
yours.
Oh, I didn't? Yeah, I did. I agreed with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thoughts on Commoner.
There you go.
Next question. I have none. I haven't played it. I'm sorry.
Seems cool. I would play it more, but Living Lurker seems more fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think Commoner is actually probably a really good format to have. I just don't have the time to invest in yet another format, right? Like CC and Draft are already a lot.
Yeah.
So
And finally,
is Wizard healthy and fun for the game? Both these questions are from Thomas.
the answer is easy. It's yes. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, love Wizard. Cool hero. I don't care if he just has to sit there and do math to figure out if you're dead and then you die.
It's the most
Like,
intense
it's
math
cool.
you'll ever do.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun every time.
I think Wizard's really cool because he attacks you on a different axis, right? Like your resources are also your defense. And as the wizard player, you can attack your opponent's resources instead of like their defense value in their hand. And I think all of that is really cool. I understand the danger and the unfunness, totally a word, of like if you overextend yourself, they just kind of like play solo. Like I kind of get that, but it's like if you're well equipped to play against and know how to play against a wizard, it's like often a very interactive experience. And yeah, I think it's great for the game. It's also just like a truly unique deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm talking about Kano, but also Icelander, like
Yeah.
both of them, you know.
Yeah, they totally are. Cool. Well, I'm doing the pee dance over here after this 20-ounce beer.
Dude, me too.
So thank you everybody who has
Clothes
been here
pinned off.
live with us. I appreciate you all. I think this is one of the more fun episodes we get to do personally on the year, where we just kind of get a fucking chill out and hang with y'all and do a podcast. So thank you. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Isaac. It's great to see my friends, my buds. Yeah, have a great holiday, everybody, and we'll see you in 2024,
Hell yeah.
the year of the assassin.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.